Hello, my name is Gary Shotton, and I'm here as a part of Inspiring Better Business IBB Talks. Today I'm going to talk about economic slowdown. I'm recording this in the middle of May of 2020, and those that are watching it near that date will know that we're not sure what the future is going to be like, so it'll be interesting to see from my comments here. Maybe I listen to it a year later, because I'm telling you I'm in the middle of that. There's an economic slowdown in the United States. There's an economic slowdown all around the world. And the question comes, what do I do in the middle of that? Well, I have a few key points, and I certainly don't want to convey the thought that I have all the answers. But number one, at my company, we've tried to restate that what we typically do, try to stay as consistent with the way we've been doing things, if at all possible. Don't make some radical changes. Try to trim things down a little bit in some ways, but try to keep all the wheels rolling, maybe at a little less pace or a little less vigorous, but we have regular routines. We reschedule regular meetings, like what we call an evaluation of bad parts every morning at Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 7:30. We keep doing this. We have a warehouse review Wednesday at 1:30 in the afternoon. We keep doing that. We can keep doing our reports. We keep looking at the same signals. We try to keep things as close to normal as we possibly can. And that means we chose not to stop our night shift and bring everybody to days, because those people have a routine. As we stay into the routine, we're trimming it a bit, but we're not radically changing anything. Number two, the question was asked by some people in East Africa, that should we extend credit, because there's so many people that are in a desperate situation, and I could stay busy if I just extended credit. Well, I wouldn't advise that personally, because if that's what you've normally been doing, if you have a way of doing credit and extending credit, and you know that you're getting paid back, then that would be something you're normally doing. But why would you change what you're doing, especially extending credit? Because you have a chance of doing all this work, providing all the materials, and never getting paid, or getting paid extremely late. I'm not one that likes to extend credit without some kind of guarantee or assurance or extreme confidence in the customer that's taken the goods away. Because when they've gone away, especially something like a meal, when are you going to get the meal back? It's already been eaten. You made some new shoes, or you did some tailoring for a shirt or a wedding. I mean, these things will not come back to you. And if you don't have any kind of leverage to get it back, you've lost that money. It would be better not to have done the job than to extended credit in those situations. Yes, there will be times that you have to trim. It's not something you want to do. Right at this moment, we've not had to trim, extreme trim. But in the year 2009, I had 65 employees, and the economy just dropped. In about 4-week period, it just dropped. And I had no choice, and I had to take those steps, and I did relieve. I use the word fired, but they realized it was an economic turndown, that 41 of my 65 employees I had to let go. And I said, I'm sorry, folks. This is something that wasn't planned. In our case, we had what's called unemployment insurance, so they had some income coming the way our system works, but it wasn't a full paycheck. And I had to take the position that I couldn't play God. I couldn't be everyone's source. I had to protect the home base. It wasn't greed. It wasn't protecting Gary. But if I let the company go bankrupt, then the 24 most loyal people I had, the core, they wouldn't have a job. It's kind of the idea of you can't keep carrying something. You had a ship and it's just overloaded. You got, and the storm comes. You know, they tell me, and I've observed, I've never been on the ocean like that, but in the olden days, it was clear that they threw things overboard. They threw part of their cargo overboard. Well, they had to lighten the load. So I had to lighten the load at that time, and I had to take people off payroll so I could get through it. And then number 4, if it's number 4, boy, we watched every expense we possibly could watch. I'm still laugh about it a bit, but from those days we used to have paper towels. We bought paper towels. Wash your hands, wipe them on a paper towel, throw the towel into the trash. We changed that, and we're still doing it almost so many years later, 12 years later, 10 years later, that we have a wash machine and we wash a hand cloth because we didn't want the expense of the paper towels. We cut out every unnecessary expense. And you know, it was kind of a purging. It's things that we needed to get rid of anyway. We didn't cut off as much. We had to cut off some payroll, but anything that we could save a dime on or some money on, we made those drastic cuts and we watched. And that's what we should be doing anyway. We should never fall into a case of money's easy and we're wasteful. That's not it. There's a difference of being wasteful but also during this time I'm actually being generous. That's not being wasteful. If I'm wasting if I had food and I didn't eat it all, or if I could do something cheaper. But in my case, we have an opportunity to bless some local restaurants that are in trouble like us. We eat them regularly. So I've been buying lunch for Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday for the last 5 weeks. I've provided $500 for each day for all of our crew to have a lunch at our office. It's brought in, it's fed to them. So I'm not bragging, I'm just saying I'm still being generous because I'm a generous person. I'm not bragging, I'm just saying I'm a generous person. So I didn't stop my giving. I might have to adjust it sometimes, but in my case, I'm able to reach out and help some other people. So I hope these 3 or 4 or 5 things are helpful to you. I hope that you can get through this time together. And maybe most important, don't let fear control you. Fear is the opposite of faith in many ways. Fear will cause you to make wrong decisions. It'll cause you to react to something not wisely. Look at the numbers. Stay out of fear. Well, all these are here to help you. Hope this is a benefit. Thank you for being a part of Inspiring Better Business.